Right there, man. Let's just have a little conversation about the National Basketball Association. Um, I know it's early, and I feel like the NBA. This happens a lot where where teams will come out real hot and fizzle out a little bit. But what do you think of your Warriors being atop the Western Conference right
Um, well, I think that's a really good win at Oklahoma City last night. Um, that game and I think the best win of the current road trip one. This is a one, two, three, four, five. Oh, 5 game road trip. Okay, this is where I'm
now?
at. 5 games, six, seven. 7 of the first 10 games have been on the road, and we have our 6-1 on the road, and we're 8-2 so far. I like that.
Hmm.
That's a good sign. We can play on the road. We can beat good teams on the road, like Boston. Steph Curry is still wow. How many? He got hurt, didn't he? He got hurt. Okay, that's right. I was about to say here, bro. He's only been the leading scorer in 3 games of their 10. Um, I think I think this is going to be a good year for them. I think this is they can do. I think the Warriors are back to doing what they could do with Klay Thompson with Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is going to have a career turning season to where, bro, the Warriors are going to have to pay that man. He's gonna. I think they're going to be Western Conference Finals. They're that good,
Hmm.
in my opinion. They're that deep, and um, they're not done. They're not done. They got the pieces on this bench. Think about it though. Here, so if you look at this roster, you got these guys play minutes. Anderson, Kyle Anderson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Buddy Hield, Trace Jackson Davis, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevon Looney, DeAnthony Melton, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II, Brandon Pajemska, and Andrew Wiggins, and that Lindy Waters guy. So that's 1, 2,
Hmm.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys that I just named off that are getting minutes every single night. Um, there's a trade coming. There's a trade coming. Keep your eyes open, people. I bet the Warriors make a move. I do. I
Even
could
with
see
the
it.
even when they're rolling like this, like you think
Yeah, absolutely.
they'll make a move.
And I think if Milwaukee don't figure out that move's gonna be for Giannis,
Mm,
why not, bro? You have all the pieces to send to him.
wow,
Why not?
look at Bush, Mr. GM Bush over here. That's like
They're thinking bigger picture. When I was really, you know how I was bagging them in the summertime. I think I understand the plan. They built their roster. I mean, I know they say they love their roster, but they say they love their roster because they know they have pieces to trade with.
to add to add a superstar.
Oh my lord! Let's see
That'd be
here. Let's
crazy.
go
So
to
that'd be crazy. Hold on, I wanna touch on a couple things before you keep going.
mhm.
I completely agree about the Buddy Hield um, take that you just had. I think he's finally in a system, and he's probably at a maturity point in his career where he's gonna have a big time season. Um, the other thing about the depth thing is I feel like you start to see, and this is with college, this is kind of with any level of basketball. As the season goes along, you start to see that rotation tighten up. You know what I mean? Um, but knowing that but on the flip side of that coin is like obviously injuries happen throughout the year, you know, pieces get hurt, and being able to plug and play kind of wherever you need to with those guys is really nice. Um, but that's honestly a good take, dude. I like the that you're saying that they're loading up to make a nice little trade here.
Because it just counteracts to what you were just saying. There's too many good players on this roster to be sitting on the bench in the playoff.
Mm.
I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, there's too many. Like, you are allowed here in this position, I think, to get rid of two guys or two guys in a draft pick or something. Like, that's how I feel about that situation. I hope it happens. Why not send Kyle Anderson? Even though I want to keep him, to be honest with you. I would love to keep Kyle Anderson. But
I mean, slow
Bucks are
mo
2-8,
fits what
by
they
the
want
way.
to do. Yeah, I know, I saw
Mm-hmm.
that. But Kyle Anderson kind of reminds me of the Sean Livingston of
Yes.
the old
And that's why I
Warriors.
want to keep him. Like a very
Yeah,
good ball mover. Like a guy
some
like,
size.
ugh, dude, I don't know, because I don't know who you get rid of.
Well, I think Trace Jackson Davis or Kevon Looney would probably be on the, especially for a guy like Giannis. Trace Jackson Davis and or Kevon Looney would have to be in there. I would imagine Gary Payton would be back on the trading block. Um,
Moses Moody, maybe.
Moses Moody or even like a Jonathan Kuminga. I know the Warriors have said that they're not going to get rid of Jonathan Kuminga, but I mean to
If
add a
Giannis
piece
presents
like
himself.
exactly to add a piece like Giannis or insert any other big time superstar that you could plug into their roster, like you would give up a
You know
Jonathan
who
Kuminga.
But you know who he reminds me of? Is how we were just talking about how Kyle Anderson kind of reminds you of Sean Livingston.
Sean Livingston.
Is I think Jonathan Kuminga reminds me of like a very raw Andre Iguodala.
You think he's more? I think honestly, at this point in Kuminga's career, I think his offensive game is a little bit more polished than Andre Iguodala's.
Yeah.
Like I think Andre Iguodala, like he was the number one or number two option on those 76ers teams that were terrible. Am I off on that? I think he
No, because
like
he had because he played with AI, so he was like a
yeah,
second on. It was him and AI. It was the two AIs at one point.
but I think but I'm pretty sure they weren't very good. Um,
No,
but to me, Jonathan Kuminga, like he's a little bit more polished, I think, offensively. But I agree with you, like he has that kind of big guard wing versatility, um, while also being able to be a ball handler a little bit too.
it's interesting. Like so, it's just interesting how these guys rotate. Because like Trace Jackson Davis played 5 minutes last night. I don't know if he got hurt or not. Scored 2 point whatever that was, but like Buddy Hield comes off the bench, and I think that's big for him too. Damn, Kaminga had 20 last night. Steph had 36. I saw his highlights. He was cooking them. But what I was gonna say about their roster, the last thing about their roster that I'll point out is like Steph's 36, Draymond's 34. Then you got Kyle Anderson 31, Buddy Hield's 31,
Hmm.
Gary Payton. Damn, Gary Payton the second's 31. And then outside of that, everyone's roughly between 26 to 29, besides a
Yeah,
couple rookies.
pretty
So
experienced roster.
that is an experienced roster. So I like how the start is for sure.
Absolutely. The other thing, staying in the Western Conference real quick, then we can move on because I want to ask you about the Eastern Conference too, is people were tripping about the Nuggets. I wasn't one of them included. They're 7-3. They're going to be just fine. Like they're going to be in that hunt. Also, a team that I think is going to make a move at some point.
If Nikola Jokic is on the court, you have a
You're
chance
okay.
because
Yeah.
he almost beat the best basketball roster of all time. One of the best basketball rosters of all time.
Which is
So
what?
Team USA.
Oh,
Um,
fair
I'm
point.
looking at this. The Phoenix Suns, dude, they're looking pretty good too. I I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna just be honest with you about the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they're gonna be they're very much a regular season team, and they're not the type of team that you're gonna count on to get to the next step. I think. I don't think they
Do you
got
think that's still a youth thing? Do you think that
yeah,
they're still pretty
100%.
young?
I don't think they take it serious enough. I'll
Really?
be honest with you, dude. Those group interviews are corny.
I mean, it is one of those things where it's like, okay, it was a cool thing you did last year. Let's let's move on. Let's move on from it.
Yeah, that's where I just don't think they take it serious. Like in older people are gonna see that and think disrespect. Um, the Timberwolves, we'll see about them. I think trading Cat was the dumbest thing in the world for them, but we'll see how that pans out.
The thing that I think, and this has kind of been an obvious point with the Suns, is Tyus Jones having a true point guard
Mm-hmm.
in that lineup is big time for him, and also having Mason Plumlee behind Yusuf Nurkic, I think, is big
Yep.
for them.
Also, you have Kevin Durant starting off the year playing at a high level.
He's playing like
27
MVP
point
type.
6,
hmm
6.6 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Like, yeah, he's
Leading the team in blocks.
35 against Philly and the game winner. That was nasty too. Oh, bro, he's got
So
one, two, three, four,
let's get a
five
little pick
dirty
here.
balls.
Let's get a pick here with 10 games, 10-ish games into the season.
Uh-huh.
Who's your pick for Western Conference? You said Warriors. Are you sticking with that?
100%. I'm gonna stick with the
Okay.
Warriors. I think Steph Curry is at like that peak of old guy prime.
Mm,
What
okay.
about you?
I want to go back to the Nuggets, to be really honest with you, because not with the team they have
It's
right
not a
now,
bad pick.
but like I said, I think they're gonna make a move. So I'm gonna go with the Nuggets, um, whether they make a move or not, because I'm not gonna put an asterisk next to it. So I'm gonna say Nuggets.
I mean, that's not a bad pick.
Mm.
Um, I think that would be my second pick. Okay, let me ask you this real quick. Damn, hold up. Before I ask that, I want to look at Jokic. Damn. Oh my lord, he is top 5 in points, rebounds, assists.
Mm.
Fourth in scoring, first in rebounding, first in assists. As a
He's
as
averaging
a big man.
almost 30, man. Oh my goodness.
27.9 or
We just need to
29.7.
appreciate
Jesus,
Jokic, man.
dyslexia.
Yeah, a little
I said it.
dyslexic moment right there.
Yeah, when they won the championship. Do you remember the question I asked you?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is he the best big man ever? Is
Dude,
it time to put him in that conversation?
I mean, like,
Doug,
it's
come on.
it's so hard not to, dude. And like I try not to do that with guys that like are still playing, or that maybe haven't proved as much or whatever, but because I feel like you kind of get into the mindset of like, is it just the hype right now,
Mm-hmm.
like is what
Mm-hmm.
we're so amazed by what we're seeing, is that the mindset we're in? But like these numbers are stupid, dude.
Look at his his percentages. That's stupid. That just made my jaw drop. He's shooting 56% from the
56
field
from
and from
three.
three.
Oh my goodness. 85 from the free throw line. He's got to get that to 90. He can be a 50-50-90 guy.
That'd be nuts. Um, There's a dude from Nova Southeastern. Sorry, I'm not trying to go on a weird tangent here because I
You're
was just
good.
looking this up. Shout out Riker Cesart because you're gonna get this too. But there's a kid from Nova Southeastern that's a 60-40-90 shooter, and then Riker's a 50-40-90 shooter.
60, 40, 90. That's crazy. I mean,
60
obviously
50
that
90. Sorry,
60,
60
50,
50
90.
90.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Dude, just going along on your tangent here is Nova Southeastern has figured something out down there. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Northwest Missouri State was, up until recently, Northwest Missouri State was the top dog, and I'm sure they still are up there, but Nova Southeastern's figured something out.
Oh, the Nova Southeastern's head coach ran stuff at West Liberty for
Right.
no. Was it? Is that the team that BA's lost to in the Final Four?
Yeah.
West
Yep.
Liberty.
West Liberty. Yep.
That's who that guy used to coach for a while, and
hmm
they were really good too. But no, back to the NBA. What do you think about the Lakers?
Let me pull it up. I know they're up and down right now. They started off hot. What are they, 6-4?
Not good on they. Okay, they are undefeated on the road. 1-5 on or 1-4. God damn, dude, I can't talk. Undefeated at home
Figure it
and
out, guy.
1-4 on the road.
1-4 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle to give a take because I watched literally the first Laker game, and I haven't watched him since. Um, I'll say this as a quick little side note, dude. Do you remember some of the defensive clips of like when James Harden was on the Rockets? Like how bad some of those defensive clips were of James Harden playing defense? That is D'Angelo Russell at times.
He's so bad.
Dude, and it's like I feel like he could be a good defender. He's big, he's long, it's just there's some of those players that you just feel like they don't have a good sense of rotating and kind of really where the ball is when they're on defense. That's kind of what
Yeah.
I feel like with D'Angelo Russell a little bit. It's like
He checks
take
out.
the take the blinders off, dude. Like you're killing me right now. But I think
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the biggest piece because he should be a very key piece for them, and I think he is when he's good. He's just so volatile. I don't think when you're lead point guard, obviously Braun's mostly their lead guard, but like who's supposed to be your lead guard is so volatile like that. I think your team's going to be volatile. So it's tough to say with them. I think they'll be right there in the mix, but I don't think they're a Western Conference Finals team.
Looking up stats here. Okay. I don't think that I like the fact that it's so top heavy. Like you got Anthony Davis who's averaging 31, Braun's averaging 23, and then it's Austin,
Can we talk about
Austin
Austin
Reeves.
Reeves real quick
Austin Reeves is averaging
at 18 and a
18.7.
half?
That's so unbelievable.
Did we address
D'Angelo Russell.
real quick, pause real quick. Did we address the Austin Reeves take that I had like way, way back, probably a year and a half ago?
It's 10 games in, okay?
No, it was for last year, and he averaged. I said he was going to average 15 a game last season, and he averaged like right at 15 a game. I just want to put that out there.
No, he did. He averaged
But continue.
15.9 in 82 games. The guy played 82 games last year and averaged 15.9. All right, I mean, you got to give him his flowers, but how?
He's got game, man. I think you're sleeping on Austin Reeves.
I guess.
Anyway, continue.
You got the
You were saying it was
Lakers.
top heavy.
No, yeah, it's top heavy. You got those three averaging 18 and up, and then it's D'Lo's at 13, 12.9, Rui's at 12, and then 6, 6, 5, 3, 3, 1 point. Brownie 0.7. That's sad. Christian Coloco 1 point a game. Gabe Vincent 3 points a game. Max Christie 3 points a game. Cam Reddish 6. Dalton Connect 6. Jackson Hayes 6. Like the Lakers are another first round exit, if not a play-in exit away with
Is
this
this
roster.
is this
Roster is
Braun
not
hatred coming
this.
out?
No, it's not. This is a bad roster. Look at this roster,
Okay.
dude. Look at this roster. Go pull up the roster on ESPN.
Oh, I
Their
got it
stats
up right now. I got it up.
and their splits. Like, dude, come on. I don't see nothing outside of the top 4 guy. I don't put Rui in that conversation.
I think this is the biggest problem, that Anthony
In no
Davis
world,
and LeBron are both at 35 minutes a game right now. That's what I think the
in
biggest
no
problem is.
world do I see the NBA champion having Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, and Rui Hachimura being top 5 in scoring. In no world. I'm not trying to hate, but like, dude, be real here.
Oh man. I think it's all about the way they execute and the matchups. I think the NBA is a big matchup league where if you match up well against a team, that's why at the end of the season you hear about teams dodging certain teams to miss them in the first round. You know.
Mm-hmm. Their top they got, dude. The West is gonna be a close race this year. But Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
dude, Dallas pisses me off. They're 5-5. I swear. Then you
They'll
got
get it
Kings
figured out
6-4,
too, man.
Clippers 6-4, Minnesota 6-4, Houston 6-4, or LA 6-4, Memphis 7-4. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting race in the Western Conference Finals. But I'm going with the Golden State Warriors.
All right, you got the Warriors, I got the Nugs. We got to go to the Eastern Conference real quick, and then we got to hit on some
Yeah,
college. But Eastern Conference, this is the Cavs being undefeated still blows my mind.
that's what's a good term for that? Water under the bridge.
Yeah.
I don't even. I'm looking past that. That's I can't even think of like a good term for that or metaphor for that.
You think it's fool's gold?
That's fool's gold. There you go. That's a good one. That's fool's gold. I'm not buying stock with the Cleveland Cavaliers. No way. Team, you know what team I'm buying stock of out of the Eastern Conference? The Boston Celtics.
Oh,
They're
of
going
course. I
back to the
mean,
finals.
they
That team's
just
going
they
back to
just
the
won the
finals.
championship for sure. You know, you gotta bet on them. But I think the Knicks will get it figured out with Cat. You know, I don't think Cat really made them significantly better, but
It gave them
I think
another
they'll get
option,
it.
I guess.
Yeah, they gave him another scoring option, but the cat. I mean, I feel like this is the thing with the Cavs, and why I think they're at least somewhat legit is Evan Mobley's taken a step up offensively and defensively, and it seems like they're figured out a way for Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland to be efficient playing on the floor together. Both at 20 a game, 22, 20, and 20 a game, respectively. That's a team with some
So
depth right there.
let me holy cow. Cat hasn't had hasn't had numbers like this since 22.
What's he doing?
I mean, I know it's super early. He's 9.9 games in, but he's 25 points per game, 12 rebounds a game, shooting 53%, 54% from 3, 53% from the field, and 87.5% from the free throw line. Bro, these are damn near all career best numbers.
Why
Outside
are
of
they taking
his
L's?
second year in because of dude, it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson's, I think, hurt still, too.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, he hasn't played a game, so
Which is huge, actually, now that you mention it.
they'll figure it. When he comes back, they'll be all right. I think the Boston Celtics are coming out of the East for sure.
So do you think they're a legitimate chance to repeat?
Yes.
I think so too.
I think we'll get Warriors Boston round 2.
Oof. Wouldn't that be dope for Stephen Wardelius Curry to take down the Boston Celtics twice in the end of his career?
Don't let him get more than Bron.
Oh man,
that's all I gotta say. Do not let Stephen get more than Bron.
That would be quite the.
You don't want to hear what I'll have to say after that. It will stir some feathers.
You know what? I do want to hear that, and I hope it happens.
Because that is someone overtaking somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if the title thing is your thing, then yeah, for sure.
I think no, just for him in general, I think Steph is top 5. He's a winner.
Oh, I agree.
I really do factor winning into a lot, and he has a winning record in the finals. He has a winning record against arguably one of the great in the playoffs and series wise, a lot of people's greatest of all time. So like the fact that he's got the better head to head there, to me that speaks on a resume big time.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would agree with you on
that. But you want to move on to college?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. Yes, I would love to move on to college.
I don't have anything else on the NBA. I haven't really been watching it religiously, just watching stats.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton either. I've watched a few games here and there, but I think that's a good start on NBA. That's a good 27 minutes of NBA talk.
Whoa.
I think it is vital to talk about North Carolina. Their comeback falling short against old Kansas. What's your feelings, dude?
Well, my feelings to why oh my gosh, dude. I don't mind that we dropped one spot in the rankings, I guess, but that was a good comeback. You can't reward losing. But what? Iowa State won and they dropped 2 spots. Auburn's getting. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the rankings right now. Auburn's getting 2 first place votes for what? Because they beat a number 4 ranked team on a neutral court. That's weak. I don't. Preseason rankings are stupid. I don't think. Before I get into that, do you think rankings shouldn't come out until about week 4, 5?
Well, I just think, I think whether or not when they come out, I think the true rankings start to show themselves, kind of once you get into conference play, honestly, is when I think things really start to level out and you start to see the best of the best teams playing the best of the best teams. Not that you don't in some of these preseason tournaments, and those are a good gauge, but we've seen time and time again in the past of two big teams matching up in the Maui Invitational or something, and one team wins, and then the other team, and then the team that won falls off and
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do as well. So
True.
I think
True.
it's it's all relative um, to where we are in the season. Like you're gonna see some wonky stuff right now because um, there's teams that are playing great opponents. There's teams that are playing some cupcakes, but they're highly ranked. So I think you're just gonna see that, and then it'll start to level out once we get kind of into the more the heart of conference play.
Back to North Carolina. I like the fact that there's 6 dudes in double figures in that game against Kansas. I know we were down 15, 20. We were down a lot, 20 at one point, and then we
Hmm.
came back and had the lead. I think that's the part that disappoints me the most about this is like we have RJ Davis was 3 of 15, 1 of 7. Like, dude,
Yeah,
that's back to back big games where he's shot the ball terribly. Um, and you got to win those games. You gotta find a way to close those games out on the road. But I will say this for us, that's a good game because we like, dude, that's such a hard place to play at. Allen
absolutely,
Fieldhouse.
absolutely.
So, um, I think I like the fact that Seth Trimble and Elliot Cadeau are coming out and being offensively aggressive. That's big
I
time. Like
liked I liked what I saw
we
from
need that.
Trimble. Yeah, Trimble had a fantastic game. Um, I think with North Carolina, it's like a typical North Carolina team that, at least that I feel like in recent years, where they're gonna come on so much stronger in the second half of the season.
Oh,
That's
dude,
just the feeling I get from them.
I was just about to follow up with you about you will not know what you're gonna get from this team until about January 11th when we go to NC State.
Yeah.
I get dude, that's how it is all the time. You don't know what this team is. That's how North Carolina always has been, and I don't mind that because I don't care about like yeah, I want to win this game against Alabama that we're gonna play. Is that at the Dean Dome? Oh yeah, Bama comes to North Carolina on the 4th of December. That's gonna be a good game. But like, yeah, you want to win those games. You want to win the game when you play Florida, all this stuff, right? But I care about how we're gonna play February 1st at Duke. I care about how we're gonna be looking during ACC play. Because that's the biggest tell of how they'll be as a team for the tournament and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
to me, it's too early to tell with them. I mean, I like what I saw against Kansas, but you never know what could happen with the North Carolina team. It's because it feels like with Duke, you know what you're going to get every single year. A top 4, top 3 seed. Always a competitor for the ACC championship. I'm not saying North Carolina is not, but like going into the season, there's more question marks with North Carolina. Like, what's this team going to be? What's this, that, and the other? Whereas with Duke, you kind of know right away, like, damn, these
Hmm.
guys are good. This is what they are. This is how they're going to be all year, and they're going to win a lot. You
And I
know.
feel like, to your point, North Carolina is a team that starts a lot of seasons like this, and then at some
Mm-hmm.
point they just boom. I feel like
Take off.
Duke is much more like a steady incline, and then they almost plateau a lot, where it seems like the best teams figure them out a little bit. So it'll be interesting with Duke to see, and obviously they have Cooper Flag, kind of another one of those generational players that you see at the college level, but um, I think the team around him is great as well. But it'll be interesting to see that if they're able to have kind of continue with that steady incline that they're accustomed to, but continue that incline through February and March, like you were saying.
I think this is gonna. Personally, I think. Damn, just looking at the way this ACC looks right now, it's gonna be coming down to Duke and North Carolina.
Yeah.
So that's. I like the way our roster's built. I like we fought against Kansas. And I think we are going to be a top 10 team, top 8 team all year. I think that's deserving of what that roster is. Just with the improvement of the guard play and everything and how Trimble's actually a threat, dude. I was like, he had 30 against Memphis. I was like, what?
Hmm.
But for I'm going to just be real, Duke's going to be tough.
Yeah,
The
they're a
only thing that
complete
scares me,
team this year.
only thing that scares me is can they manage this throughout the year when it gets tough? You know what I mean? Like they're old. They do. It's not like they're not young all the way through. But I can Con Canoople. I think is going to be the biggest freshman
Yeah.
on the team. We know what Cooper Flag is, but can Con Canoople average what he's doing all year? God damn, dude, you guys are
Hmm.
big.
And
Jesus.
that's the thing. That's the thing that, namely against North Carolina, but also that I feel like Duke has missed in the past is having good depth at the big spot. Like I feel like they always. I feel like Duke. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Duke always has one good. Their starting big is always really good, or like a good player, and
Decent
then their backup
drops.
is like just some dude that they pulled off that's like, oh, you're 6'8", like
Mm-hmm.
come on in, dude. Come be our backup big, and you have a 4.0. Like that's what I feel like their backup bigs have been, but I don't get that feeling with this team.
Truthfully, Mason Gillis was the best get in the transfer portal for them. 100%.
Mm,
Guy played in a national championship game last year.
yeah.
So, a lot of experience at Purdue, a lot of big games. He lost as a 1 seed. He's made it all the way and lost in the national championship as a 1 seed, So
Mm,
he's seen it all. And I think that's a good guy to have in your locker room. That's a guy that'll keep everything centered, especially when you got dudes that are young that play a lot. Like
hmm.
you need that. But 6'9", 7 foot, 6'9", 6'6", 6'9", 6'5", 6'6", 6'6", 5'8", buddy.
Long
I
length,
feel bad
baby.
for you. God, this walk on is 5'8". I feel bad for you because then it goes 6'6", 6'7", 7'2", 6'11", 6'6", 6'6". Jesus.
And I'll just say this, one of the best. This is no hate on Jeremy Roach, because I know he was an all league guard last
He
year
needed to
at
go.
Duke, but he was. I don't think he was the answer. I don't think he was which is going to get you over the top.
Sometimes you need a new view, kind of like Caleb Love, man. And
Hmm.
those are guys you just got to say, hey, man, go do your thing.
Yep,
Um,
that's
but I want to
absolutely
talk
right.
about real quick. We both mentioned this. Kansas went and made some moves in the portal too. Um, I personally don't think that they are going to be a Final Four team or even a Elite Eight team. I think that they get beat in the Sweet 16.
Mm,
um, they got exposed the minute Hunter Dickinson was out of the game. The minute
yeah,
he was out of the game, and that's where when he was out, Carolina was thriving.
yeah, that's true.
Um,
That's when they made their comeback.
and so I don't see that is going to be their biggest downfall because he is such a good defender. Like he's huge too, 7'2",
Yeah, he's a
265.
big
Like
boy.
that dude's he's their best defender, and so with him not on the, he has to be on the court all the time, and when it comes down to the tournament, or else they're going to give up some. They're going to have issues, I think.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with they're going to have to like in order for them to be a national championship team, I think they're going to have to figure out how to be productive without Dickinson on the floor. But I will say this, I agreed with you that they were flat, and I agree in that sense. But I think they're still a legit national championship contender. Like I think there's a few teams that are legit national championship contenders, Alabama being one of them, Duke, um, some other ones that are clearly in that conversation too. But to me, they have way more depth than they did last year. Like they had like a 6 or 7 man rotation last year. They were not deep
Yeah,
at all.
last year's team was really bad.
Yeah. And two is they have a legit lead guard in Zeke Mayo and a legit big, and arguably two bigs with KJ Adams. But to me, KJ Adams is like, I think he's a glue guy for him, but I don't think um, he's not in it. I think he's a good piece for them. I think if he's one of your best players on the floor, I don't think you're going to be that great of a team. But they have a great lead guard and they have a great, number one big.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You got good points there. I don't know. This just seems like one of them teams that's just not gonna. Sadly enough, I'm scared that Duke's gonna win it, and I hate that with all my heart. Every ounce of that hurts to say, but that size on that team is so scary.
I'll just
But
say this.
I'm
I'm
gonna say
actually go ahead.
I, the last thing I'll say though is don't count out those people in Stores, Connecticut.
Oh, of course. I was just going to bring that up too. But real quick before we move on to that, is this is one of the only years with Duke where I'm going to feel good about having them in my Final Four. Because I typically have them in my Final Four just because that's where my heart is. But I don't always feel good about it. This year, I'll feel real good about it.
I haven't got to see UConn play, but Danny Hurley. Danny Hurley.
Well, and let's establish this too. They have a big time cupcake schedule their first 4 games. So, like, that's something to be noted. But I think they are definitely a legit squad.
East Texas A&M. That
Yeah,
used to
like
be Texas
their
A&M
first 4 year.
Commerce.
I know. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's Texas A&M Commerce.
Yeah. Since they went D1,
Wow.
they might have flipped the name. But yeah, this is not a strong first 4 games at all. Like those should be 30-point wins easily. Um, but I think they're a legit squad.
When's their first? Memphis, Baylor. That's gonna be a good one.
Memphis.
Gonzaga. That's gonna be a good one. Yeah, we'll have to see there. I'll have to see on them because they're just beating the piss out of two really bad, really small schools. That's unfair.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, so it's
I
not
don't
a
know,
great
man.
sample size for them.
I remember talking to. Come on, dude. That was the easiest opening drive I've ever seen an NFL team put up on us. What a joke.
If they lose to the
Um,
Dolphins, man,
pissed.
it's gonna be hell to pay.
First of all, there's no reason Tua Tagovailoa should be playing, but what the hell was I just gonna say? Oh, I think I had this conversation a couple years ago with Thompson. When I was still at BH as a student, you might have been playing there too. I don't know. We were talking about who the team to beat was, and everyone was like, "Oh, Villanova, oh, this, that, and the other." And it was like early December, something like that. And he's just like, "Dude, guys," he's like, we asked him, he's like, "Who do you think?" He's like, "I don't even know." He's like, "You honestly don't know until about February."
Hmm. which
was
is
like that.
true.
Once February comes around, you'll have your best idea.
I mean, there are teams, I think there are a lot of times teams in all divisions from start to finish that you could feel good about, like saying they're the team to beat or whatever. But there's so much that can happen between December and the start of February that it is tough to tell. It's tough to say, this is the team that's going to win the national championship 2 or 3 games in.
And besides, in any sport, when do you want to be playing your best? At the end.
The end, man.
You always want to be playing your
Absolutely.
best at the end. You never it's tough to come out the gates hot because you're like, ooh wee, can we withstand this? Can we make this be a stave and carry this momentum all the way through the season? Because you're gonna have times when things get really hard, and normally that's when teams falter and get in their rough stretch, and then ultimately those rough stretches lead into the season enders and stuff like that.
Yeah, and injuries, but also like a lot of times those teams that go through those lulls in their season and then come on strong at the end, those were a lot of times the ones that give a great run for the national championship because
Mm-hmm.
they do know how to deal with that adversity, and it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
we've been here before, we'll get it done. So
It's
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 interesting
not a
how that stuff
panic.
works out. Yeah, exactly.
It's like a reversal. Like
Hmm.
North Carolina losing at Kansas is probably one of the best things for this team because now we know. Now I feel comfortable enough knowing that in big situations, big games, this team's gonna fight. Like they're not gonna roll
Hmm.
over with down 20. They're gonna come back. So
Absolutely. It's all you can
um
ask for, man, for the old Tar
mm-hmm,
Heels. But once they run into
mm-hmm.
Duke, it's gonna be a bloodbath. But
Nope.
just kidding. Those
RJ
games
Davis is
are
gonna have about
always
30.
those games are never bloodbaths. I feel like you
Cooper
can,
Flag's
regardless
gonna
of if
miss a layup to win the game,
that I
and we're gonna win by
wouldn't bank
one.
on that. I would not bank on that. If that's what you're relying on to win the game, I wouldn't cash that.
He's gonna miss contested layup. It's gonna roll off the front of the rim, and
He's gonna
they're gonna
yam on
pay into the
RJ
camera.
Davis.
They're gonna pay into the Cameron Crazies student section, and there's gonna be a couple girls in the front crying because they're just so distraught over what happened. That North Carolina of all people came in and beat them on their night.
Yeah, seriously, like how could that happen with such an inferior
Dude,
opponent like North
that's
Carolina?
my absolute favorite scene is when we go beat Duke in Cameron, and then it turns to the student section and there's students crying. I love it.
You want to know what my favorite scene is? When Austin
Great first play.
Rivers drills a tray ball in Tyler Hansborough's face or whoever it was and silences that arena there and
You guys lost to Mercer that year in the first round of the tournament.
it's all right. Did you guys win the national title?
That wasn't Tyler
No.
Hansbrough, by the way. It was Tyler Zeller.
I was gonna say that's too. Tyler Hansbrough was much earlier than that.
Tyler Hansbrough's 4-0 at Cameron Indoor Stadium. That's his home. They should just name that Tyler Hansbrough Stadium or Tyler Hansbrough Court, not Coach K Court. Tyler Hansbrough Court at Cameron Indoor.
Tyler
4-0.
Hansbrough shouldn't have his name on anything. All right.
Should have his name as the greatest college basketball player ever. I don't know. That's a
No,
stretch.
that's Christian Lane. That's once again that belongs to a Duke Blue Devil.
Luckiest.
Christian
Get
Laettner.
there, you slow son of a. All right.
Yeah, let's watch this game, man.
We better end this before I start
Yeah,
getting pissed off at the
cursing
Rams
on
on this.
cursing on camera.
Uh-huh. All right. Episode 52, 51. Sorry,
51.
people. God, we didn't even welcome everyone. Welcome. A long introduction, but we're about to leave. So just
We're out.
we'll be back next time. Peace.
See you later.